from like a metrics perspective, I guess like we obviously have a biased opinion on how we think people should be measuring at Stream Hatchet, but are you guys seeing like the metrics brands are requiring or asking for in these types of partnerships like start to develop? Like obviously viewership's a large component, and like a lot of what I talk about and a lot of folks talk about in the space is the quality time you're getting with this audience because of the engagement. But are brands and agencies looking more at chat messages and more lift from like, hey, I may have a medium tier esports opportunity, but if I compare it with a large opportunity, maybe the engagement's twice as high. Like how are brands really developing on how they're looking at these metrics? Obviously, like every year people get smarter and smarter, and just curious to see how you guys have seen brands changing their minds.
Yeah, from what I've seen over the last, let's say 18 months and kind of the, post COVID world where things kind of start to normalize, there's definitely been a lot more brands who have been asking to go that next level of like, all right, engagement numbers are high and they're good, and yeah, we can analyze the chat conversation, understand kind of sentiment and reaction to where our brand is appearing. But we're definitely seeing more brands and agencies, demanding to go that next step of like, well, how does that really moving potential customers through the purchase funnel? Like, are we raising consideration? Is this resulting in more sales? And in context to everywhere else they're spending sponsorship dollars, it seems like that's been put under a magnifying glass over the last 6 to 9 months. And I think it's a function of budget strings getting tighter and just needing to look at every dollar and how it's spent and make sure that's maximizing ROI. So we're seeing a lot of that. And, we have processes now of fielding surveys during streams so we can get to that next level of like, next time you're in the market for an energy drink, are you going to be more likely to consider this brand after seeing that they're aligned with this streamer or this event that you just tuned in for? And then we go out to like a Gen Pop audience of young consumers who may or may not be esports viewers themselves to get that baseline. So we're churning through a lot of those now.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Brandon, any thoughts on your side?
No, I mean, that's why we love the additional products from YouGov and, from the other folks over at Nielsen and some of those other companies. I think everybody overall is getting smarter. I think Ben made a great point. We're all kind of tightening our belts a little bit, right? So we want to make sure that where we're spending money makes the most sense, where it's going to make the most impact. So it's not just about those viewership numbers anymore. They want to know, how it's impacting their consumer at every stage of the funnel.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting because I think surveys is not quite attribution, but I'm sure it leads to a lot of like attribution results like longer down the funnel when you look 2-3 months later. So yeah, I think those types of insights, trying to get more attribution based, I think that's like a big push for the Stream Hatchet side. So how can we maximize from delivery all the way to campaign kind of recap, understanding at each point, like, hey, let's get rotating banners that have QR codes that go to landing pages so we can understand the click-through rate. Like even with some of our campaigns tools, like you can kind of create your own surveys. And even if it's like, I'm an influencer manager and I want to understand what type of content is this audience really joining to, I think, I think the audience is engaged and being able to get results and really good feedback from those audiences is ultimately kind of where you can maximize results there too.